You're listening to Lead Through Strengths, where you'll learn to apply your greatest strengths at work. I'm your host, Lisa Cummings, and I gotta tell you, it's tough to find something at work that is more energizing than using your strengths at work every day. Today, we are in a season of the show where we are moving into question and answers from you, the listeners. Today's question: we're just starting CliftonStrengths with the team, and we noticed a lack of influencing themes. So she goes on to ask about how to address this as a team. They have already talked about how to address when you have a deficiency. I'm putting that word in quotes, but when you're missing something as an individual person. But how do you address these ideas as a team? Now, first, if you're new to CliftonStrengths or the book StrengthsFinder 2.0, when she's mentioning influencing themes, that is one of the four main domains of talent themes. The other ones are relationships, strategic thinking, and executing. So the first thing to know is, hey, good news. This means you're normal. When you look at the whole database of people who have taken CliftonStrengths, more than 24 million people, the instances of influencing themes in the top 5, it's 15%. So it's not an evenly spread dynamic. So that is the first thing. If you are on a team and you're trying to make all 4 domains have a nice tidy 25%, stop trying that. It's not how the human population looks, at least the population inside of this database, which is quite large. And spend a little bit more time learning to work with what you got. Work with what you got. You know what I mean? So as I think through that, my answer is really to get a little bit more focused on the outcomes at work rather than obsessing over the strengths. So one of the things that I see teams do is they do an assessment like CliftonStrengths. And then, of course, all you want to do is talk about the strengths language and do things like, oh, I have the focus talent. How can I go use the focus talent? Or I lead through relator. How can I go use my relator today? That's totally natural, and there's not really anything wrong with doing that. But in a workplace and in a team setting where I think you'll get more bang for the buck is think about the outcomes you're trying to achieve as a team, and then think, in order to do that, how could I use the talent themes that I have? So it's coming at it a little different way, and it's using the themes as your easy buttons to get the outcomes done. So if I make this a little bit more practical, let's say you have a goal as a team to improve customer satisfaction by 10% in the next quarter. So if you were coming at this from the outcome perspective, now you have something to apply your strengths to. Now you have something really practical. Okay, I'm going to improve my customer experience. So if I'm going to improve my customer experience and I see that I have activator in my top 5, I think, ooh, this means I should be able to take action. I can return phone calls to them really quickly. If they have some feedback that we should jump on and make part of our process or our operations, I can get on that really quickly. If you, let's say you lead through empathy and you actually have a customer going through a tough time, you could apply your talent themes by really helping them see that they've been heard and understood and that you are fully feeling them out. You're not trying to blow off their response or their complaint, and that, when you lead through empathy, there's something really deep there about the spidey senses of you understanding what they're going through. So in those two examples, what comes first is the outcome, not the talent theme. If instead you're out there saying, I lead through discipline, what are all the ways I can whip that out? It makes it actually a little bit tougher. It sounds like it would open up the world to you, but then it just seems overwhelming and they're not really sure what to do with it. So instead, when you're getting started, think of the main outcomes as a team and start to drive conversations around that. What are the outcomes you're trying to achieve? And then use the strengths like they're tools, or the talent themes like they are tools, like they're your easy buttons for getting it done. Now, when this question started, you were asking a little bit more at the team level, not just the personal level. One thing is, you heard in my answer that I just gave, that's more of the personal action that you would take. And I do believe that that rolls up into team outcomes because you started the conversation with team outcome. But the other thing is, if you want to look with the team and say, okay, well, what are the vulnerabilities that we have as a team? What are the opportunities that we have as a team? And do it as more of a rolled up conversation, you can still apply the exact same process. You look at the talent themes that you have and apply them. If you find, for example, oh, well, we're still feeling the pain that we don't have that many influencing themes, and we do feel like we need to be able to influence and really create momentum in our organization, maybe be more persuasive, be more out front of things. We're leading a lot of change. How are we going to get our ideas heard without influencing themes? Do we need to go hire a bunch of people and look for influencing themes? Well, no, instead, what you can actually do is look at the ones you have and see how could you creatively have a conversation where you're partnering up a couple of the talent themes to act like they're influencing, or take the angle of it that is influential. So for example, if you take the analytical theme, it is categorized in the domain of strategic thinking. But if you're the one who slices and dices data and makes it really interesting the way that you put charts in front of people, and it suddenly changes their behavior because it makes them buy in when you show your proof points, well, you're being influential through your thinking. If you lead through developer and you've really watched a person grow and you've made each of their steps really acknowledged in front of other people, and now they are out doing big things in the world because you've unleashed their potential through your developer, now this relationship theme has created a ripple of influence. So don't think of them like they have really hard lines. One coach that I know says, think of them like they have a chain link fence between these categories, not like they have a brick wall between the categories. The categories, and when I say that, I mean relationships, the thinking themes, the influencing themes, and the executing themes. And that opens it up as well, because then you can think, oh yeah, well, I influence because I really create momentum because I get stuff done when I lead through my achiever. You can suddenly now open up and categorize them however you want based on how you see them actually getting results in the organization. Okay, with that, if you want to explore the themes in a little bit more detail with your team, you mentioned that you're just getting started with CliftonStrengths. For any of you who haven't done a formal kickoff and conversation with your team, or you need a refresher for your team, go over to leadthroughstrengths.com/resources. And right at the top of that page, you'll see a free webinar where I recorded a mini training for you, where you can sit down with the team and have a really rich conversation with your team about how to apply these strengths in practical situations on the job. With that, I look forward to hearing how you've claimed your talents and shared them with the world. Bye for now.